Hi, I'm Greg. Welcome to Affect Studio. I'm here to demo the Ibanez Flanger Mini, which I bought so I could retire my Ibanez Fl9. I know the Mini's been around for a while and there are other videos, but none of them were particularly informative for what I was looking for. Most of the ones I heard, including the clip on the Ibanez site, use fairly extreme settings which, while fun, are not how I usually use a flanger. If that wasn't bad enough, nobody had done my paint on the tiny knobs modification so you can see the settings. Probably due to them being done before I made my video, but still. I'm going to start with the Mini to get an idea of what it can do and then compare it to my Fl9. I'm using Dora the Explorer into my Marshall Astoria for this example. Even as a kid, I think that's about as extreme as I ever got with the flanger. Not sure why, I'm probably just very boring. Not that there's anything wrong with more extreme settings, of course, just not my taste. The sort of pedal can be hard to switch off at times. As soon as you disengage it, everything seems a bit lackluster and flat. I was looking for a Flanger Mini to replace my first pedal, an Ibanez Fl9, that I bought on sale just before Christmas 1982. At that point, the biggest purchase I'd made by myself without my parents being with me. It's getting on in years and the rubber is coming off the bottom, so in recent years I've needed to cable tie it to my board to stop it falling off. More significantly, it's also become a bit temperamental, so it doesn't always work properly. While the Flanger Mini is fairly inexpensive, I didn't want to buy a new one that I might not use. I haven't seen many used ones for sale, so they either haven't sold many or everybody keeps theirs. Here's a comparison with the Fl9. I have the Fl9 set to my usual starting point, which is everything at 12 o'clock. I occasionally turn the controls up higher, but more often reduce them. The Mini is set to sound roughly the same. I'm using my Strat this time. Not exactly the same, which isn't surprising given they only share two parameters. Similar, as good and easy to dial in is what I wanted. As far as I know, they haven't claimed it's based on any of their previous models, so there's no expectation that it should be an exact match. Ibanez have made a number of flanges over the years, and they all sound a little different. I owned a 70s FL303 for a while, which I tried a number of times but don't remember actually using for anything. The price I paid for the Mini used was about the same as the retail for a new Fl9 43 years ago too, so that was a bonus. So that's the Ibanez Flanger Mini, glad I bought it. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon in the drop down menu so you get notified when I make some more of these, and I'll see you next time.